This is, in my opinion, such a very important thing. Even if you are a big team like Chelsea, you have to be strong defensively. Having said that, I don't think it's a job done, because there are still things that they need to be improved. Going forward, I think the team can do better. They have a lot of quality, but I'm sure that it will come. I mean, for a team like Chelsea, first of all, you have to sort out the results, and then obviously you will improve the quality of the rest. But so far, it's been certainly positive.
Just give us a managerial look at it, yeah, because he's come in obviously after somebody else has had the pre-season. Yeah, they're not his buys, and he's made 27 changes in 5 Premier League games, trying to find out about the players.
Yeah, but how long has he been there now?
8 games.
Yeah, 8 games. So it's a very short period, and I think when you come over to a new team, a new group of players, a lot of players, you know them of course from seeing maybe on television, and you see bits of quality. In the training sessions, you see more quality, of course, of these players, and then you need to find your right, starting 11 at times as well. So you're in the way of playing as well. You need to find the right setup in what you want to do. I think Potter, from seeing him when he was working at Brighton as well, if you give him the time, and of course he gets the time, but he will find his way in creating a certain atmosphere within this club, but also a certain way of playing that makes it difficult for, well, I think, the majority of the teams, of course, in the Premier League, because that's the coach that he is. That's what I think is in his mind as well. He wants to play attractive football, dominating football at times as well, going forward, scoring goals. That is what he's been trying to do with smaller teams even, and imagine now at Chelsea with this group of players, and also maybe, you know, when the transfer window opens up again, adding maybe a couple of other players as well. He's going to do, I think, very well. The only thing for him, and that's the difference between the other two, well, the other clubs that he's been, and with Chelsea as well, is to manage all these players and also bigger players within the squad, to keep them happy and to also keep them working hard for him, even when they're not playing, like what happens sometimes at other clubs.
Jaap's just said if he gets time. That's always the big question, isn't it, at Chelsea, if you're Chelsea manager?
It's the same at any club these days, I think. Getting time is the biggest problem. Look, I think today it's shown that Potter got his team wrong. You know, about having to make a change after half an hour. I think Ten Hag got it tactically right in the first half, especially with Fernandes coming into that midfield. He made it a 3-against-2, and Chelsea couldn't really cope with that. I think Chelsea, as a top 4 team, as a team who's aspiring to be up towards the top of the league, I thought they were a little bit disappointing today. I think they should be the team at home trying to win the game, and I never really felt uncomfortable. I never felt like Chelsea were creating chances. I never felt like they were going to score. So you probably got et up in a bit of a tactical battle and really forgot about doing the things that win games of football, which is, you know, obviously creating chances, scoring goals. I think he worried about everything else rather than that. And as a United fan, I was more than happy with United. I thought more than deserved to win the game. And then I just never felt like it was in trouble. I thought Ten Hag got everything right, other than the subs. I wasn't mad keen on the subs. I think Fred come into the game didn't really have an effect on the game, and I think it ruined Fernandes as well. McTominay obviously come on and sub, and within 4 minutes, was it? He gave the penalty away. And you've got to learn with stuff. In a day of VAR, you cannot touch him anymore. You know, the years gone by when we could have done it in Italy. You know what it was like in Italy. You know, you could never move. There was people grabbing you. The VAR, you just can't do it. You don't get away with anything. So I think it was a victory for Ten Hag today. OK, they didn't win the game, but I thought tactically he got it spot on.
OK, victory for Ten Hag. Paul says, let's hear now from the Manchester United manager.
Oh, yeah, I think it was a good game, brilliant game. 2 teams who I think are close together. But in the first half, I think we dominated the game. And that was also, I think, why the opponent, why they switched the system. And then it's going to be a little bit more difficult for us. And that we saw, especially defense-wise, in the last minutes of the first half. But before that, I think we had to get up. Good chances, Rashford twice, Anthony, one-on-ones even with the keeper. So in this moment you have to use your chances. The second half, I think it was ego. It was a battle between 2 games or same height. And yeah, in the end, I think then a point that is, I think, justified.
As a coach, is that your frustration that you didn't take those chances when you had the measure of Chelsea, particularly in the first half?
Yeah, especially a team has to feel that you have to finish, and because we were dictating the game, and they played really good in that stage of the game. Defense, but offense, we find the free man in the midfield. We created good chances, and then you have to use them.
When you made your substitutions in the second half, what were you looking to affect?
Now, first of all, it was the fourth game in 10 days, and then you see the one or the other. It's getting, they get fatigue, and either in the head or physical, and then you bring freshness in, and already we make the transfer. From in the second half, straight after the second half, we adapt to the system from them, and I think we did it well. Defense, offense, we were not that good on the ball in the second half. We had to bring more switches in. We didn't find the spare man anymore in the midfield, and there was spare man, and especially our fullbacks could have done more with those situations.
Were there attacking substitutions you were trying to make in your mind?
It were attacking options. It were solutions to win this game, to get more dominant in the game. By the first, when we brought in Fred, there was, I think, to bring out Bruno, to get him between the lines, and hopefully. And then we create spaces behind, and then we made also with Scott and with Anthony Elanga, tiredness of Marcus Rashford, and also Christian Eriksen. It was a tough game in the second stage of the second half, and you could see big spaces in the midfield, and there Scott McTominay is good. He has power. He can win duels, he has a good press, and he has the power also attacking-wise to come in the box, and that have we seen last week against our opponent in the Europa League.
From a centre-half's point of view.
Well, no, it's not only from a centre-half. I know you're trying to imagine yourself in why is the player that emotional, and why is he acting like that? I think there are like other things that are worse than this, I think.
Unless he realised it was something serious.
Well, yeah, that could be, but I don't know. Yeah,
he's already won the World Cup, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he'll be all right.
He wants to win another one.
He'll get over it.
He wants to win another one.
He'll be all right. But United won missing though. That's the point.
Since he signed, they've conceded twice as many goals with him out of the team in the Premier League as when he's in. That's not a coincidence.
No, he's a big miss. We're talking before about 1v1 defenders.
Yeah, he's a good.
He's capable of that. I think in his top physical condition a few years ago, he was up there with the likes of Yap and Rio. I'm not sure he's quite at that level now. He's picking up a lot of injuries, but he's the one centre half you'd fancy one-on-one. The rest of them, do you think Lindelof's going to come in quite slow? Maguire, we know the troubles he's had. We know Martinez isn't a 1v1 defender, so you wonder how that will affect the team, especially in the middle of the pitch, because you'd be thinking he'll have to play two holding players to try and protect whatever's behind him.
Yeah, because that's been some partnership, hasn't it? Materialising, Varane and Martinez.
It has, yeah, but we just don't see it enough, do we? Because unfortunately he's at the stage of his career now where he seems to be picking up a lot of injuries.